All right, what up? We are back. Tyler Perry's Zatima, season 3, episode 10, Twin Flames. So y'all, the episode picks back up where Zach is beating the brakes off of Jeremiah. I mean, he and I'm like, God, no. So what I came to realize as I'm watching him, because he told him, I want to say he told him that, no, he didn't tell him that yet. As I'm realizing him, Zach, beating up on Jeremiah, that this was not about Fatima. It wasn't about the way he was hitting him and handling him. It was not about Fatima. It was not about his getting shot. It was about getting a respect that he never got from his brother, and also I want to say even from his mama being gone. Because if my mom wouldn't have followed behind you, she probably would have still be here. You know. But that's just what I was thinking. And then what kind of solidified that for me was when Zach proceeds to tell Jeremiah he's been waiting for this his whole life, and that he hates him. And I was like, you're mad at him. And I'm pretty sure there's a part of him that hates Jeremiah for so many reasons, you know, just probably for just not being a brother that he could have been, you know. But people, you know, cards are dealt a little different. So y'all, Zach isn't even paying attention. If y'all notice, they had the people on the side recording him, and so he's so mad, y'all. Nathan tries to pull him off, and Tony, and I want to say he kicked Nate and knocked Nate down, and then he punched Tony. And at this point, I get it. You know, your friend is your friend, and sometimes you have to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so Connie comes, and he screams at Connie, and she backs up. So I don't know if she's ever seen that before, but then she jumps on top of him, and he moves her and knocks her down, and he gets back on top of Jeremiah and just beating him and beating him and beating him. And then he picks up a stick or a branch, a little stick, a stick on the ground, and he was about to, as soon as he was about to go in on Jeremiah, then Tony, boom, knocked him down and held him down. Nate got up and they held him down, and he was screaming and cussing. And I think he just, you know, they say he blacked out, and it just seemed like he blacked out. And I was like, oh my God. That was crazy. But then, we went back to the boom, boom, boom. Love that green. Anyway, so they finally get back. We come back to the scene. They finally get Zach to calm down, help him up, and he's still rude. He's still cussing them out, and he gets up and he spits on Jeremiah. And I'm just like, wow. This part of this was about what he did to Fatima, but part of this just wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't. This had a lot to do with some other stuff. Anyway, Fatima shows up at Angela's house, unannounced, of course, and she tells Angela she came over to apologize, as you should have, because you hurt her feelings. And Angela says that she was like, Fatima, you hurt my feelings because you sit here acting like you up here and you and your man 2 seconds from going to hell. Y'all get on my nerves. Sorry. Anyway, so her and Fatima have this back and forth exchange, and Angela tells Fatima she's working overtime to try to keep Zach to be a good man, and I agree, girl. And we're not gonna act like this here just started. You've been like this. You've been acting like this. But I get it. I don't know. You gotta stand by your man. So once again, we see that Fatima don't want to hear anything that is remotely the truth. But she wants to tell everybody about the SHI. So, Fatima wants Angela to find a good man that loves her and treats her the way she deserves to be treated. And I get it, because that's your friend. But it almost felt like she wanted to say, I want you to find a good man like I have. And I'm not saying Zach is a bad man. He's not. He just has so many issues, and those issues overshadows all the good he has done. It does, especially if you ever seen his temper. So we get into the next scene where Deja's outside. Zach and Tony pulls up, and she just all in Zach's face, because you know she did this, Fatima did that, and I'm finna call the police. And she wouldn't let Zach go in the house, and he had the thing around his arm. I'm sorry, I think he had something on his arm. And so she was like, well, what happened to your arm? And he was like, none of your business. So of course there's a back and forth, but she was like, she gone. And he was like, what? And she was like, yeah, your girl gone. And y'all, Deja is annoying, but I would have called the police on her too, because it would have either been the police or the ambulance. Because guess what, you would have never ever, not ever, came into my house and played with me like that. Like, you got me the anyway. So Zach, kind of do that boop, 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 and get in the house, of course. And she's still outside fussing. So he gets in the house, and I want to say he was him and Tony was sitting at the table talking. And again, everybody can withstand certain things in a relationship and in a friendship, but sometimes I feel like Zach can be extreme and unreasonable of what he asks, and all he gives out is sheer rudeness. And he does it on sisters. He's like that. He's just completely rude. And I think that's why he meshed with Karen. Anyway, again, Tony is very sound. I really like Tony because he's the sound friend. He's the, hey, don't do this, don't do that. So he tells Zach that he's gonna end up apologizing to Jeremiah anyway. Zach is saying no, he's not. And and Tony tells him that him and Jeremiah have been doing the same thing for years. Jeremiah does something to upset him, or they upset each other in some way, and then Zach will go back and apologize. Tony asked Zach, does he know why Jeremiah started using? And Tony also asked Zach, did he ever ask himself what happened to Jeremiah? And of course, Zach says he don't know and he don't care. They both had the same life. But Tony tells him, you guys may have had the same life, but both of your experiences were different. And I don't know if he just really wasn't aware of what's going on. And I'm pretty sure that Gladys put Jeremiah through a whole heck of a lot more than what she did Zach. I feel like she may have protected Zach a whole lot more. And I'm wondering if they have the same dad or different dads, but I wish we can find out what happened with Jeremiah. And so Zach says both Jeremiah and his mom made decisions that they didn't have to, and because of that, he has no sympathy. Tony asked about Fatima, and Zach says she's mad, and he asked, do you want me to call Fatima and tell him what happened? And he was like, no. So Deja, he goes outside to see Deja. She's still on the phone with the police, child, I guess. So Tony actually calls Fatima, and she answers. And once again, your demeanor, like, it's almost like y'all giving people y'all butts to kiss, and I don't understand that. So he tells her what happened. Well, um, I think he did. He tell her what happened. I'm not for sure. I forgot. So y'all, anyway, Deja is still on hold. Oh no, he didn't tell her what happened. She was asking him questions, and Tony was being vague, but you could tell he wasn't telling the truth. And so they end up hanging up. So we get to the scene where Connie and Nate, they took Jeremiah to the hospital, and y'all, Connie's hair is falling out. Her braids are falling out, and she has a bald spot. And I'm just like, why y'all got my friend Connie going through this? Now, nothing better not be wrong with Connie, but this is not even her stuff, and y'all got my girl hair falling out. And I told y'all I don't like it, because I like Connie. So Connie tells Nate that wait a minute, y'all. Connie tells Nate okay, sorry. So Connie and Nate is talking, and Connie tells Nate that Zach has Fatima, and of course Nate is feeling away because, again, why he's upset I don't know, but he acts like he want to be Zach's girlfriend, and I'm just like, okay. Connie reminds him that Fatima holds him down, and she does. She really does. And so she says if Zach have to love her, so do we. And because and we have to love her because she loves him. And Nate finally agrees. Like, I need you to agree, and I need you to stand with it and stick with it and be on these people's side. That probably means you need to cut off all ties with Belinda, but that's just his free space and somewhere he can lay his head. So y'all, Connie asked Nate what is happening between him and Belinda, and Belinda, she also tells him that Belinda is not the type of chick that that dates. And so and she said that because Nate was like, well, we just kind of dating. You don't even know where y'all are. Y'all just screwing around, and while you have somewhere to stay until your wife decide maybe she want to take you back, but you need to do better. She asked him about his wife, the kids. He tells Connie Lori is crazy, and she said, well, maybe it was you that made her crazy. Did you ever think that? And yes, it was him, because he was all in the tub with Deja. He was just sleeping with Deja. Like, you want to do what you want to do and still be married and think somebody have to put up with that. That is stupid to me. Sir, get a life. Okay. Because this is aggravating me. Anyway, y'all, we see that Jeremiah's room is a cold blue, and Tony wants to call Zach, but Nate wants to call Zach, but Connie says no, don't call him, because he don't want to hear it. He don't care. He's not even thinking right now. So then we get the next morning. Angela invites Bryce over for breakfast, and they talk about Angela and how she operates in a space with men. And so y'all, Bryce did have her picked out. He told her truths, and she was just like, what? Am I that bad? I mean, girl, you're not bad, but you might want to do some soul searching and do some work on yourself and figure out why you doing the stuff that you do. That's all. So Bryce Teller is probably, starting with her childhood, but of course she don't want to hear that. She don't want to talk about that. And I think that's the problem I'm really starting to have in these TV shows, is that we're not really delving into whatever the problem is, and maybe it's not a lot of time, or maybe the writers don't think it's necessary. But for us, the viewers, it's necessary, because now we get to understand why, and we like, oh, I can see that. So, if y'all listening, just think about that. Anyway, So Fatima finally pulls up, and Deja is still on the phone with the police, y'all. I'm just like, okay. So Fatima walks in the house. She sees those bloody rags that Zach had took off last night, and because he changed, remember he changed the bandages, and she calls Tony and asks what happened. Tony doesn't say much. Zach walks downstairs and she asks Zach, what is it? And she's just like, he was like, well, you don't want to know, so I'm not going to tell you. We're not going to discuss this no more. And it was just that. So Fatima was like, whatever. And so they get a knock on the police, though, and she thought it was Deja or probably the cops looking for her. And so it was the cops there ready to arrest Zach for the unaliving of Jeremiah. And so that's where the episode ends. But the way Jeremiah was walking, I wonder if he pow-powed himself by accident when they were upstairs, and he jumped out. He jumped out the window, but we didn't see no blood or nothing like that. I don't know if it was from what Zach did to him. I don't know, but we gonna find out. So y'all, this is where the episode ends. We are at this was episode 10, and I don't know if any other episodes are coming on, but we need him to give us some more episodes. Anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think. Like it, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one.